We're going to go live here on this Independence Day. Let's just make sure we've got audio. Going to do just a quick hour video today. Yeah, here we go. Some time ago, I was driving the Camaro. And we got audio. Camaro. Okay, so driving the Camaro, I don't know, maybe even like 6 months ago at this point. I really don't drive this car a lot. There was a bad vibration that I was getting, and it turned out to be a problem with the harmonic balancer. Here's the balancer I pulled off. It was all dried and cracked and coming out of the balancer itself. Notice there are 3 bolts. Well, 5 bolts. I don't know what these are for. These 3 bolts are with that balancer. Okay? If we look in here, I've got a new balancer way down there that's installed. Notice there's no bolts with that. There's also supposed to be a pulley on the front. Well, here's that pulley. Here's the balancer bolt that goes through the pulley. But, oops! I forgot to install the bolts, the fine thread bolts that hold the pulley onto the balancer. Not that the balancer bolt didn't hold it on there, but it backed out and I was driving. And yeah, fortunately that pulley and the bolt that was in it just dropped straight down. I don't know if you can even see that down there or not. There it is. That piece that holds the, what even is that holding? I guess it's just welded these 2 cross members together. The rear cross member back here holds the engine. This one here is just a body cross member that the A-arm's attached to, and that piece is welded in together. It all just dropped straight there. So I got lucky, lost the belts. I did get some new ones, but yeah. So I brought it back here and parked it and haven't got back on it again. So that's what we're gonna do today. Got an hour. I'm supposed to be doing some other things right now, but I haven't spent much time in the shop this week because it's been crazy, and that's what happens. So we'll spend our hour here. Not an hour a day, hour-ish a day-ish. So today, fortunately, the bolt is fine. You can see everything is good. Maybe you can't see it because the camera, there it goes. That's okay. The pulley itself is good. So we'll get this on and we'll reinstall the bolts that I should have installed originally. Oops. So let me go grab the fender covers so we don't scratch anything up. We'll put them right over the dirt and dust that's already on the car, so it does scratch it up. That's fine. And grab a light. Happy 4th, by the way. I said it in the description, but here we are live. All right, so there you can see our new fresh balancer. It's, by the way, a lot thinner, smaller than the other one, but it should be the right one. So see if I can get you in on some kind of angle here to keep watching what we're doing. Can you see from here? No. How about from here? Nope. It's tight in here, and I'm not going to pull the shroud off because the fan's in the way, and it's a whole thing. Maybe I can get you in here. Probably should have thought about this earlier, but that's okay. Here we are. Hey, look at that. You can see. Get this light somewhere so it does the light things. Somewhere where it's not in the way. There we go. Look at us, huh? All right. As long as that stays there, we'll be good. So we'll grab our bolts, this big washer. We've got lock washers on. We should be good. Anyway, every time I've wanted to drive this thing, I forgot that I didn't put this back together correctly last time, and I get disappointed. So if we're going to spend an hour on something, it might as well be on something that has been on the back burner for so long. I don't even think I'm going to be able to reach in from this side. Yeah, we'll be good. I guess I should check too that these bolts fit into this balancer. This should. But these are the ones I forgot. The other thing I'm going to do is grab some blue Loctite. Yeah, buddy, we're good there. So let me grab the blue Loctite, which, by the way, ironically, is in a red tube. Red Loctite's in a blue tube. You don't want to confuse them, because you'll be in a world of hurt trying to take a bolt out that's got red Loctite on it that you thought was going to be blue Loctite. Anyway, so we'll just drop a little of this on our bolts. Just a little. That's all it takes. See? Nope. So we'll drop. You knocked over. Let me just get this one started, and you guys can see what I'm doing here in a second. How about that? Boy, this is not a very it's tight. Let's just say that. There's not a lot of room. Okay, we got one going. Let me get you set back up again here. Hey, there we go. So, not a lot to see really, but we'll get these 3 bolts in. I don't know if we've ever even done a walk around to this car for you guys to check out. Maybe we do that. Maybe I figure out how to get my frickin' hands in here because it's so tight. But like I said, I don't really want to take the shroud off. She's delicate, let's say that. All right, there goes. Hey, wow. I actually got the holes lined up and the bolt went in. I was not expecting that. Before I put this last bolt in, let me find a socket with an extension and a wrench. This is the problem with going live. There's a 9/16 deep and shallow. Anyway, the problem with going live here is that you get to wait while I grab tools. It's kind of inefficient, but gets us a video. All right, let's get this last bolt in. It's a 9/16. Drop a little bit of bluey Loctite on there. And we got 1, 2, the third one should be over here. Yep. It'll be nice to get this car going again. I have not driven this car in a long time. This is a fun car. 327 Muncie 4-speed. It had a Saginaw transmission in it when I got it. I got it with the Muncie. Went through and rebuilt it, and it's a good transmission actually. Just so much fun to drive, this car is. Except it's got massive suspension problems at the front end. I think what happens to these cars, there's no frame in these cars. It's a mono or unibody rather, and I think what has gone on is over time the front end, the subframe kind of spreads apart. They're known for that. And when that happens, it becomes harder and harder to align. So I'll show you what we need to do here for that. I already have the parts. We just got to get to it at some point. Maybe that's what we'll do here in the next few weeks or something. I decided I'm not going to spend any time doing this hour-a-day series on camera polishing the dually, because nobody wants to see me polish for 15 videos in a row. That's boring. So maybe what we'll do for that series instead is go through the suspension on this bad boy. I want to like this car. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that driving it sucks right now because of this issue. What the heck am I trying to say? Because of the suspension issue. It doesn't steer well. It's super, super heavy in the front end. All right, crank bolt. Let me find a socket for this. I think it's 5/8. I can't believe when this thing fell apart. Yeah, it's 5/8. Anyway, I can't believe when this thing fell apart that the crank bolt that I have here, bouncer bolt, and the pulley just fell straight down to the bottom and stayed in here. I knew immediately something was wrong. I heard the bolt come out, and I heard something drop. The belts thankfully didn't whip anything apart, no hoses. They didn't get into the fan. You know, that can do a lot of damage. Bill has a story where one of his old neighbors came to him one day and said, "Hey, the car's making some noise." He said, "Bring it here." So his neighbor brought the car over to him, and the fan blade was sticking through the hood. Well, there's your problem. Thankfully, that didn't happen to me here. Now, this is going to be quite a dilemma because, well, this motor's going to start to turn over. And I don't have anything to stop it from turning over. Oh, I could put it in 4th gear because, you know, manual transmission life. Why don't we do that? There's reverse, 4th gear. Ugh, this car is gross. It needs to be cleaned. Let's see now if I can tighten this thing up. It's a little, without cutting my hand on this fan, that would be even better. Yeah. I don't even know how this bolt backed out of here. It's turning. Come on, baby. Okay, that's not coming out. That's torque to spec for sure. All right, let's close everything up. See if we can find our belts. It's warm today. You know, maybe I don't have the belt. I had them, but then I had problems with the big block. Maybe I stole. Shoot. Well, here's one belt. Let's see what we're gonna need here. We've got the water pump is driven seemingly I don't know what the heck. The water pump pulley doesn't line up with anything. I don't remember what I did here. Oh no, yeah. Water pump and alternator go together down to the crank, and then the tension gets pulled out with the alternator. And then on this side, power steering, which I have proven is fine, even though this thing's so stinking heavy in the front. I think it's just my alignment. Anyway, you can see power steering is in line with the rear groove of the pulley we just installed. So yeah, I don't know which belt was where. Pretty typical for me. I had them both right here, and then when I started having problems with the dually, this is the belt that came off the dually. It's cut. This is a belt that doesn't fit the dually. Should have returned it. Still can, I guess. Just looking here, my storage section. Yep, not there. But I've got more belts over here because I grabbed both of those belts and said, oh, maybe one of these will work. I don't think one did. Maybe it did, and that's why I can't find this belt. Probably. Belts. Could look in the back of the Corvette too, because I've got more belts there. We've got more belts. Oh boy. Hey, here's 3 belts. 4 belts. Maybe one of these will work. I don't know. Hopefully. I'll bet you one of these is the belt, and I just threw it in there when I was cleaning up. Make sure I don't have any belts sitting over here. No, it's just old wires. All right, so I've got 5 belts to choose from. You'd think I was working on a gold trommel. So this belt, I'm fairly confident came off of this. It's a 432 C3. Oh, here. 15 450 1A 1145. Sure. This is not a fun part. I don't really like belts. I like the serpentine system, but we're certainly not going to put a serpentine system on here. So the trick now, because I'm not wanting to pull the fan off like I probably should have, is first to find a spot that the camera can live, because unlike square body, there's not a lot of room. Anyway, let's try this one-handed. You got to sneak the belt, which probably won't fit, past the fan. All the blades, there it goes. Over on this side. All right, we're past the fan now. So the question becomes, can I figure out, let's start on that side with the alternator. And the alternator is not loose, so let's make the alternator loose. Is that a 9/16 or a half? Probably a half, because I only have a 9/16 here. Yep, it's a half. Hi. I really want to fire this thing. If it fires, it's on a battery tender. I think it will. Let's grab a wrench. One half. So hopefully we can get this wrapped up, knocked out. And take her, well, I'm not going to take it out because I don't need to. I just need to see it burp over, and there we go. Yeah, that was tight because it all came apart when the pulley came off. It was together till it wasn't. All right, let's move this. yeah, I do need to install the inside belt first, but I just want to see if this thing's going to fit before I move forward. Because if I don't have the right belts, I'm not going to fight with it. This one here is definitely not the right one. She's a smallie. What other numbers do I have here? Let's see. Oh, I think that might be the same belt. 37440. These are very, very close. They're all, I think, 14-inch belts. Let's get this thing pushed way over. Oh, that's as far as it'll go. Must be hitting. Yep, hitting the bracket. See now if we can get that. This thing's not cooperating. Something like that. Let's see now if we can get this over the balancer. Oh, maybe. I just need like a half an inch, maybe even just a quarter inch more. Nope. Well, dang it. All right, let's try it over the top. I don't think this is the right belt. Probably the right belt is the one that I took off and have on the dually. Seems like it'll probably be my luck. All right. Is this going to work for the power steering pump? Most definitely no. That is a much larger belt. It must be the one. Must be the one that I used in the dually. Well, the good news is we got the pulley back on. It's Loctited. There's that. So let's take a look. Are these? This is the one that I was putting on there. It's bigger than this one. It's bigger than that one. It's definitely bigger than that one. Is this one any bigger? It is. No, it's not. These might be the same. One, let's see, 1540. I don't know. We can try it. Either way, I don't have the right bolt for the belt for the. What am I trying to say? I wonder what this one. This thing's way too big. That thing's gigantic. Definitely not it. All right, let's go back over here and see if I've got a belt. I think I already took the belts out of this car. I think that's what we're messing with over there. Oh, belts. Belts, are you in here? No, pretty sure. Yeah, I took them all out. Oh, look, a belt. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny little belt. Not gonna work for us. Dang it. Small walks. Oop. Well, I guess that's it. I'll have to measure belts. Dang, that sucks. Let's look in the car real quick. Maybe I have some belts. I might have some here too. I got a bunch of here's a belt. I don't know what it's for, but not that car. Oh, distributor cap. Oh, broken. Oh, weather stripping, seat belts, C10 armrests. I do not have a clue why I have that belt. So, yeah, no belts here. I'm gonna get the no belt peace prize. All right. Well, I guess we could take belt measurements. Show you how I do that. Not with any of those. We'll use this one. As you can see, it's cut. And essentially, what we do is wrap this around all the pulleys that would be in there, and we mark it. It'll overlap at some point. We mark it so that we still have enough tension adjustment, and then we measure it, and that's the length of the belt we need. So let's do that, because I can't do anything else. Let's bring in here. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I just lose more than I win in the shop. That's fine. Look, sometimes you got to steal parts from one project for the other. Just don't forget to replace the parts that you stole. I did, and here we are. Oh, I guess I could look in the trunk real quick. Nothing inside. I really don't think I've got belts in the trunk. Ouch. I did save both belts in this car when they came off, but I am very sure that I stole one of the belts and used it for the dually. So it is what it is. We'll take measurements. We should put new belts on the car anyway. I don't even know how old these belts are, so, or they were. All right, so here, we'll mark this one right here. Let's go over here and we'll mark it. We'll take a measurement, and that'll tell us exactly how long the belt we need is supposed to be. So I like to use one of these here silver Sharpies. I still got my thumb on it. Some people use a string. I don't like to use a string. I put a little arrow facing that way. I don't like to use a string because they stretch. You never really get an accurate measurement. So we'll turn you guys this way. Bloop. Let me grab a measuring implement. Anyway, the string, unless you, I don't know, have some kind of, you could use weed whacker string, I guess. It don't stretch very easy, but you don't want to use a piece of nylon or cotton string. Oh, this belt was bad on that dually. This was the belt that I had on the dually, but whoever did that didn't do it very well. And I completely redid the way the belt runs. So we get this thing nice and straight. Looks like 44 and a quarter. So we need a belt that's 44 and a quarter long. I should write that down because I'll forget it. 44 and a quarter long for the alternator and the power steering pump. The alternator, the water pump. What is happening? Where are my pens? Here's one. Alternator, power steering pump to crank. So we'll write that down here. Camaro. Alt to power water pump to crank. What did I say? 44 1/4. Measure twice, right? Right. $44 1/4. And that gives me plenty of room because the power or the alternator was all the way untensioned, detensioned, and it'll give me room to pull it, get it on there and pull it. So, all right, let's go measure the other one. Now the trick is getting that back off of there. That's okay. We'll bring the marker with us this time. Pew! And then we'll jump on, order some belts. Probably won't have them today, but that's okay too. We got a busy weekend here coming up. So I figured I'll get some time in the shop today because I might not get it again for the rest of the weekend. All right, let's measure that again. Not the same one, but the other pulley set up here. Nice thing is, since this thing's cut, we don't have to go futzing around with going over the fan. Oh, drop the belt. There we go. Okay, so here we go again. I put the cut end of the belt right on top of the pulley. That way I can hold it and then bring the other end of the belt up and over it. It gives you a real nice sort of reference where you need to be. The other thing I should do is loosen the power steering pump up because that one was not loosened for adjustment because obviously, like I said, it was all the belts were on there, and then when that pulley came off, well, they didn't get readjusted. You get a 9/16 wrench. Here's one. The other thing is I was having some issues with rats in the shop. Bill and I discovered where they were coming in, and then we went up and we solved the issue. I had a contractor here who was supposed to do that. I, like an idiot, never validated that he actually did it. He did not. Pretty typical these days. People can't get their single jobs done, tasks, whatever. It's very annoying, but this is the world we live in. All right, so now that's loose. I can stretch that where it needs to be stretched to. Put my thumb on there. Do the same deal. Mark it right here. Arrow. There we go. Now let's go over there and measure again. I can't even see on my mobile device if people are saying anything. All right. So it's the shorter one. Same deal. Put this on the end. Draw it out, and we're at 41 3/4. And that is power steering to crank. All right, cool. So I need 2 belts, 44 1/4 and 41 3/4. I'm not gonna sit there and order these when you guys are watching. Nobody wants to see that. Anyway, thanks for watching. We got 35 minutes in the shop today. If I had the belts, they'd already be on there. You probably can't see me because it's so bright. We can't shoot this in HDR. They don't do live HDR unless I have some other gear. Anyway, sorry, YouTube doesn't do live HDR. I'll get these ordered. I'll be honest, I'm not probably going to get in the shop here through the weekend. May not even get out here till Wednesday or Thursday of next week. That's okay though. I'll get these ordered. We'll have them by then. We can throw them on there and fire that thing up. It is what it is. Took the V out for a drive today. Had the Corvette out last week, I think, week before last. Everything's running. A couple things that I'll get on. We'll just bang that thing out real fast. The pulleys or the belts, that'll take 10 minutes. So we'll get that done next week. White truck is fine. This stuff is fine for now. This needs a tune. We'll get to that. I really need to finish polishing the dually, which I'm not going to do on camera because it's boring. Unless you guys want to see it, I don't think you probably do. Then I need to order a couple interior parts, get that thing wrapped up, and then I'm going to go hard on the blue truck. Let's just have a quick look at where things are for that right now. I've got this, oh, by the way, I got this really neat vintage Stanley lunchbox and thermos. Anyway, this thing's just tore apart. Tore apart. So I got a lot of wiring to do. I've already pulled all the wires through the floor for the harness. I'm going to put this computer under the seat. This is an air conditioner truck, so there's not a lot of room under the dash. So I've got wires from the harness coming up through the bottom of the seat, and then I ran a bunch over to the steering column for gauges and all that fun stuff. So it's just a matter of getting on this truck and ripping through it and getting all this wiring going. I just want to fire this thing, so I think I'll get it to a point where it's ready to fire. It's a 6-liter LQ4 317 heads, truck Norris cam in this one, LS7 lifters, Speed Engineering headers, factory intake, factory throttle body. It's a very similar setup to that one. It'll just be a little less rowdy, but this truck is a cruiser. It's a blast to drive. So I got a few things to button up on this, and we can fire it, at least hear it run. I haven't even heard this thing run. It's been sitting here for about 1.5 years-ish, maybe even 2 years. So let's get back on this thing too. Here's the Camaro. I don't know if we've ever really done a walk around. This is a cool car, but like I said, we got to fix the suspension. This is less of a priority for me than this, but I do at least want to get the belts back on it. So if I did want to drive it, it's drivable. It's just not fun to drive. But at least if I did, I could fire it and run it. So I'll get those belts ordered. We'll get them on next week. And that's it. Don't forget, we've got hats. We've got stickers. Shoot me an email if you want one. Horsepower Ranch, Florida, all one word, @gmail.com. That's it for today. Where are we at? 39 minutes. It's hot. I have a ton of things that I should be doing, but we did spend, a little bit of time in the shop, and that's what's important. Remember, an hour a day, get your projects done-ish, hour-ish a day-ish, get your projects done. Just spend a little time in the shop when you can here and there like we did today. And it didn't take long. It didn't really interfere with anything else that I have to do, and we made good progress. So yeah, I'll get the belts ordered, get that knocked out, and then we're gonna jump on the blue truck for the next hour a day. Pieces. Have a great holiday. Don't blow your hands off with fireworks. Don't drink. Don't drive if you're drinking. Don't be stupid. Anyway, be careful, be safe, enjoy it. Hopefully you get to see some fireworks tonight. Have a good weekend. See you guys next week.